Imagine getting arrested for carrying a concealed firearm, even though the law says you no longer need a permit. That's the trap many Floridians are falling into since the 2024 changes to Florida's gun laws. If you're not up to date on what's allowed and, more importantly, what's still off limits, you could be breaking the law without even realizing it. Gun rights in Florida are evolving, but the confusion around the new laws has grown just as fast. Since July of 2024, Florida has allowed permitless carry, but there are still many rules, restrictions, and gray areas that the average gun owner needs to know. Otherwise, you're risking arrest, prosecution, and possibly a felony on your record. That's why we're breaking it all down here today. I'm Rick Fletcher, a criminal defense attorney based in St. Petersburg, Florida. At Fletcher & Fletcher, we defend people who get caught in these legal traps every day. Our job is to explain the law and fight for your rights when law enforcement or prosecutors go too far. Now let's talk about these laws and how they actually work in real life, not just on paper. Let's start with the big change. Florida's 2024 permitless carry law. Under Florida Statute 790.01 as amended, it is no longer a crime to carry a concealed firearm in most public places without a license, as long as you meet the qualifications you would need to get a license under 790.06. So what does that mean? Now you can carry a concealed firearm without applying for a permit, paying a fee, or taking a training course, but only if you are legally eligible to receive a concealed weapon license. According to 790.06, you must be at least 21 years of age or older, have no felony convictions, have no recent violent misdemeanor convictions, not have a history of drug or alcohol abuse, not be under a domestic violence injunction, be mentally competent and legally allowed to own a gun under federal law. And if you don't meet those qualifications and you're caught carrying, you could still be charged with unlawful concealed carry under 790.01. And you still can't carry everywhere. Even if you qualify for permitless carry, there are still places where firearms are completely banned. Section 790.06 lists out these restricted locations. You cannot carry openly or concealed in places like police stations, sheriff's offices, detention facilities and courthouses, schools and colleges, government meetings, polling places, and bars that make more than 50% of the revenue from alcohol. Even if you're eligible to carry, you'll still be arrested and prosecuted if you bring a gun into one of these restricted places. This is where many people get tripped up. They think that the permitless carry law overrides all the other restrictions, but it doesn't. Now let's shift gears to carrying a firearm in your vehicle. 790.25 is at play, and under this statute, it's perfectly legal to carry a firearm in your private vehicle without a permit, but only if it is securely encased and not readily accessible for immediate use. So what does securely encased mean? Florida courts have said that this includes a glove box, a zippered bag, snapped holster, or any container that requires an extra step to open. But here's the twist. In State v. Valley in 2024, the defendant had a firearm in a zipped pouch strapped across his chest while driving. He argued that this was securely encased, but the second DCA ruled that carrying the weapon on his person, even in a zipped bag, violated 790.01. Why? Because the gun wasn't in the vehicle's storage space, it was on his body. Now, here's what's critical. The Valley case was decided based on the old version of the law, before permitless carry went into effect. Under the current statute, the outcome would hinge on whether the person was otherwise eligible to have a concealed carry license. So if Valley were legally eligible to carry a gun under 790.06 and no other disqualifiers applied, his case might not be prosecuted today. This is a huge shift in how firearm possession cases are analyzed. Now let's shift again and talk about open carry. A lot of people assume that if you can carry a concealed firearm without a license, you can also open carry, and this is completely false. Under Florida Statute 790.053, open carry is still illegal in almost all situations. There are only a few exceptions, like when you're fishing, hunting, or camping. If you're walking down the street with a gun on your hip and you're not doing one of those activities, you can be arrested. And that was exactly the issue in Norman v. State, a Florida Supreme Court case where the defendant openly carried a firearm on his hip while walking. He argued that open carry laws violated his Second Amendment rights, but the court disagreed. They held that Florida's ban on open carry is constitutional and that the government's interest in public safety outweighed the inconvenience to citizens who preferred open carry. That ruling still stands today. So let's recap. What have we covered? Number one, you can conceal carry without a license, but only if you're otherwise eligible under 790.06. Number two, you cannot carry in restricted places like bars, schools, and government buildings under that same statute, even if you are eligible to carry. And number three, you can carry in a securely encased firearm in your vehicle, but not on your body unless you meet the eligibility requirements. Open carry is still illegal in Florida, except in very limited circumstances. So if you've been arrested or are facing charges for carrying a firearm in Florida, or you're unsure whether your specific situation is legal, don't take your chances. Call us at Fletcher & Fletcher. We know how to challenge unlawful stops, illegal searches, and bad firearm charges. Our contact information is in the description below. And if this video has helped clarify anything for you, give it a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Drop a comment if you've had an experience where Florida gun laws got confusing, or if you want us to break down another specific topic. We cover criminal law, search and seizure, your rights every week, and check out our podcast From Courtroom to Carline, where we talk about balancing running a law firm and parenting 3 boys. See you in the next video.